LT in the house, Leonard Taylor, down below. What? Hashtag shop local.
Hashtag shop at Forever 21. It's cheap. Ratchet.
It's true.
I wish there was like a mirror there so I can see myself as we're recording.
Hashtag ego. Hashtag she's got a big one. Bloopers brought to you by he and she. No camera guys here. We're working overtime and we ain't getting paid overtime. Hashtag just saying. Hey guys, I'm Reno.
And I'm Adeline.
And this is Style by Spirituality Presents Couch Conversations. So as you know, every once in a while we like to sit down, get a little cozy, get a little intimate, and talk about some fun topics. So this is, this particular conversation is about duality.
Ooh, I love that word, duality.
So we have been talking quite a bit because Adeline and I are very in touch with our dual energies. The masculine.
One more than the other sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes I'm a little extra. I admit it. And so yeah, we want to discuss duality and dual energy because I feel like sometimes it gets a bad rap, you know? Like there's terms out there like man up, act like a woman, act like a lady, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like we have, like, I feel like we all possess dual energies, I do.
Yes, we do.
And to deny that is to deny yourself, the self, you know? Mm-hmm. And I think it's really important that we embrace this idea that we don't always have to play in one energy, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, embrace the feminine, and I like that term, but I don't like the way it's framed, I guess, because, like, there's such an amazing thing, and we had this conversation, there's such an amazing thing about possessing dual energy, and I feel like, you know, I recognize that as a gay male, I was born different, mm-hmm. And what's really cool is, as I've grown and I've got to know myself, I feel like I've become more in tune and more comfortable playing in both those spaces, yes, you know? It's like I really have fun with it. And what's amazing is I have this unique ability to connect with men and women in a way that I don't think a lot of people do. Mm-hmm. And it's because I'm tuned into that, you know? Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
And same thing with me. I am extremely independent, mm-hmm. Which of course brings out some male qualities.
I love that about you, though.
Male qualities. Actually, one time I was moving something around in the house. I was moving the furniture around, and Rena was like, no wonder why men are intimidated by you. Look at you.
But she's fierce.
But that's something I've learned to just embrace, mm-hmm. And because I have to, especially when you're independent, and I don't mind. Those are the things, like, I don't mind having to pick up a screwdriver or a electric screwdriver or a hammer or, you know, pull out the lawnmower, or, like, I don't mind, mm-hmm. doing that kind of stuff. I mean, it's because it's different for me. It's again, it's more of a therapy thing for me and a challenge. Okay, if I can do that, then I can do the next thing. It doesn't I feel like this, sorry, I feel like this whole what's male, what's female bullshit is exactly that. Bullshit. Exactly. It is a cop-out. Yeah. And what's interesting is a lot of men want a woman who's going to be like, can you do this for me? I don't know. You know, play that what would you, that, you know, princess.
The role, yeah, and you know what, it's interesting that you bring that up because I think that, I respect this idea that, you know, sometimes you can put yourself in a position where you sort of make your man feel stronger, I think that's okay, it's fun, to a degree, but don't deny yourself. Don't deny who you are. To make someone feel like more of a man or a woman. Or
Yeah,
whatever,
exactly. What is wrong with having the man in the house doing the dishes and cooking while the woman is out?
I feel like that makes you more of a man, or more of a woman. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah,
and that's why I hate that stuff. Like, I think it's dope to see a woman outside mowing the lawn, or a man, like doing his daughter's hair, or his niece's hair.
Yes,
like, that's cute.
That's cute. Exactly.
Fucking adorable.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and why not? Why not embrace both? And why not challenge yourself to do what what mainstream society says you shouldn't be doing?
Absolutely.
Why not challenge yourself?
There's so many, like, I'm not in love with this idea of like all these gender roles and like you do this and you do this, and you know what, it's crazy because in the gay community, and I'm about to just put it out there, but there is a lot of that. There's this emphasis on like these masculine ideals, which frustrates me so much because I feel like, as I said, we as gay men, and I'm speaking about gay men in particular, even though we're not the only people, but I just know for myself and from what I've seen, we have this amazing ability to connect, and we have these, this amazing sort of duality about us, and I feel like so frequently we try to deny that. So it's like, if you're anything, outside of masculine or close to, and you're playing in your feminine space, frequently, or that's sort of the dominant energy, people look at you negatively, like, oh, he's femmy, that guy's too much, he's extra.
Is that the word,
blah, blah,
femmy?
Blah. Feminine, femmy,
right?
Flamboyant, flaming.
See, that's one thing I've never understood, is how people have taken the word feminine and made it a bad thing.
Always,
like, what the fuck is that? What is that? Like,
I don't get it, because I think about women and I think about what it means to be feminine, and I think strength still. I think strength, I think intuition, I think love, I think just...
What is it? What do you think it is that makes people attach femininity to being weak, to being...
Because when you think of feminine, you don't necessarily associate it with physical strength, right? Like, I think we need to reframe what it means to be feminine.
Well, if you've seen these puppies...
Yeah, no, and it's true. It's true, though. But that's the thing. I feel like, when you think masculine, one of the first things that come to mind is, like, strength, physical and otherwise. But the truth is, there are women out there who are busting their asses, and we forget about that, or you don't see that as much.
Well, actually, I had a conversation with a friend the other day just about that in particularly, because there was well, I can't even remember what we were talking about, but basically she had asked me, no, she sent me an article. Remember that article I was telling you about?
Right.
About how it was an interesting article, but you know how everybody has the freedom to write what they want. In this particular article, it was about attaching black people to greed and all this negative stuff. And I said to her, how could you put on a race to this type of situation? It's not that. If you really take a look at it, male energy dominates right now. It really dominates, and unfortunately, what's come out of it is the greed, is the all this stuff that isn't in our innate human way, and it's just interesting that people have taken this idea of what it means to be a woman and what it means to be a man, and have tried to make it this. It's just interesting.
There's like a separation.
Yeah, and people are trying to find things to blame. They're trying to find people to blame for certain situations that are happening around the world.
But what's amazing is men, women, masculine, feminine. The two together are like yin and yang. You know what I mean? And
it's
I think if we really understood that and we really embraced it, you would see beautiful things happen. Like beautiful things. Like, there's certain qualities that the masculine don't have that the feminine do, and vice versa, right?
Yes.
The energies and individuals, you know, women have, there's certain characteristics and things that they possess. One thing in particular is that women or people who play in feminine energy tend to be more intuitive, and intuition is huge. Mm-hmm. It is huge, and they're particularly tuned into that.
Yeah.
You know, and I just think.
But you also have this generation of women, and I mean, I almost fell into that. I will completely admit, I almost fell into that, of this wanting to be better than the man, this wanting to be better than the female who's sitting in this position that they want, and basically fighting over even men, jobs, positions. You know what I mean? Just nonsense scenarios because of this idea that I need to be competitive. I need to be more like a male. You know what I mean? When women we're supposed to be naturally, we're supposed to be able to connect. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what women are supposed to be doing. We are the game changers. That's true. But instead we fell for this idea that we need to compete with each other. We need to punch that bitch out, or we need to, exactly. Yeah. It's so ugly. Yeah. It's like, why? And I mean, again, I fell victim to that. I was in the club fighting other women.
Did you so when did you begin to struggle less with this sort of duality thing? Like, was it a struggle for you ever to embrace that?
You know what? I think when it comes to dating, it does. Because again, I'm very independent. Right. You know what I mean? And again, there are a lot of men that kind of tend to, well, she can take care of herself. There's no need for me. Right. And that's not what I want. I want friendship. I want, you know what I mean? That's not what's important to me. Yeah. But I think that would probably be the only thing. And and even just my relationship with women and the way I see women, because again, I did fall for that whole competition. Oh, all women do is gossip. All women do is, all women do is be catty with each other. I can't be friends with women. I have to have more male friends than girlfriends, and that bullshit that. Wherever that came from, I don't even know where that came from, interestingly enough. I don't even know where that came from. But wherever that came from...
That's very telling.
Yeah.
That you didn't know
I don't even know where that came from. But that thought was in my head. That thought was in my... That belief system was in my head. And, I see a lot of these teenage girls, and that's exactly how they treat each other. They go on they fight on YouTube and hit each other and just disrespectful towards each other, and without realizing that, and who knows what they're fighting over. Could be a boy, could be, who knows. But it just breaks my heart.
It does, and you know what, at the end of the day, what it boils down to, I guess, is, like, we're all human, right? And we're all unique, and I just feel like we need to really embrace our uniqueness, and for me it was very difficult to, like, any sort of femininity that was expressed and people recognized, like, I was afraid of. So if it ever came up, if I ever felt like I was acting too feminine, or I thought people had picked up on it, I would kind of close up again, and it made me feel kind of insecure. And for the longest time that was really difficult for me, because it was like a piece of me was screaming out, like, I want to be seen, like, I'm part of you, like, like, share me, this is part of you, but here I am feeling guilty and trying to, like, stuff it back down. And then eventually I reached this point where I was like, no, this is beautiful, and I'm going to embrace it. And what's amazing is I have connected with amazing women, yourself included, like, I have this amazing relationship with women. Not only that, but men, and in a way that's intimate. And I'm not talking about sexually intimate. I'm talking about heterosexual men who feel comfortable enough to come to me, let their guard down, open up, and share an intimate moment with me where we get deep and we have a conversation. And I feel like these are conversations that they would never have with their, their buddies, right?
Yeah.
But they have them with me. And
that's so awesome.
It is. It's really powerful. And I really, I appreciate it. But what's crazy is I was afraid. Like, even showing up on camera here, and knowing who I am, I'm comfortable with it. But it's kind of like, is the world going to be okay with this guy who has this dual energy about him? Because, I mean, screw my sexual orientation. Like, that is not besides the point. The point is that I have this strong dual energy about me, and are people going to be cool with it? Are they going to embrace it? But you know what? I feel like I'm owning it, I'm owning it, and I'm okay with it. So.
And why does that have to be a bad thing, though? And you just reminded me, there was this guy that I used to know who was a stay-at-home dad, and for the longest time, people were saying, "Oh, he's gay," and it's like, why? Because he stays home with his kids? Like, how? Like, what? So you go, because he stays home with his kids and looks after his kids, that makes him
unbelievable.
Gay, It's
or the guy who knows how to dress really well.
Oh my god, that's a huge one, yeah.
Or the guy who likes chick flicks. But what's funny is there are guys out there who admit to watching Gossip Girl with their girlfriend, just because my girlfriend watches it. I'm like, no, you like it. You like it, and that's okay. That is okay.
Yeah, it does not make you flaming or more feminine.
Let's blur these lines. As a matter of fact, screw the lines. There shouldn't be any. There shouldn't be any. Just do you. Just do you, know? If you like to go get a manicure and a pedicure on the weekend, or watch chick flicks with your girlfriend, or your friend who is a girl, that's fine. You know what I mean? Just embrace it.
So how do you embrace your dual energies? What would you say, what would be, to our viewers, what would be some of your ideas?
I think the biggest thing is to realize that, and we've said this before, but to realize that you're not alone. It's interesting because you'd be surprised how many people out there feel that way, how many women there are out there who feel like they need to play small because if they play too big, they might be perceived in a certain way, oh no, you need to just slow your roll, know your role kind of thing. Can't stand that, So really, just be okay with playing big, and be okay with embracing strength and embracing, some of these qualities that are deemed masculine, or if you're a man, feminine. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's okay. As a matter of fact, it makes you a bigger, better person. And you will appreciate yourself for it, and people will appreciate you for it. And then the other thing too is just, other than that, I would just say, really get to know who you are, and what your values are, and don't let external factars sort of influence you, letting yourself shine through. And that was the
understanding where these beliefs come from, because I just had that, I didn't even know where that belief came from.
Right.
And understanding where these beliefs come from, I think it's really big.
There's a lot in the media, I think, that really has an influence on how we perceive. I watch certain television shows or LC commercials, and the butch man, the strong man, and the really girly girl, they're at the top of the food chain, and if you fall anywhere in between or whatever, it's no, pick one.
Yeah.
You can't play here,
You have to play over here.
You have to be here or here, because this makes us uncomfortable.
Yeah, this makes the world uncomfortable.
We don't get this. Here or here. And it's no, I'm going to play wherever I want.
Exactly.
Wherever I want. So, yeah. And what about yourself? What do you do? Because, what I love about you is your strength. And I can imagine, I know you well, and so I can imagine, that it's definitely got to be intimidating for you, but also for men, because it's different, right? But I admire that so much about you, that you're not
well, thank you.
Cookie cutter. I apologize if I'm offending anyone, but really, you're not cookie cutter, and I love that about you. So how do you embrace that?
you know, I'm just, like you said, I'm good with myself. There was a quote that you posted on Facebook yesterday. How does it go? You said something about...
Oh, I was like, I'm grateful for the boys who avoid me and the men who have the courage to embrace me.
And there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my thing is, I know this. I know this for myself is I know that it'll take a very strong individual, and I don't mean strong physically. I mean strong up here and right here.
Mm-hmm.
And who's good with himself, good with his who he is, what he's doing, and good with who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly, what it really is I'm just okay with who I am. I'm good with who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy. I don't need outside validation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need validation from anything or anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And shit, I love doing manly shit. Like, I'm sorry if that comes off butch, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry. I love to mow the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like leaves though. I love mowing the lawn. I love changing a tire.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love putting, cabinets together. Like, I love doing that stuff. I feel like it's therapeutic.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, I'm independent. I'm single, so no one else is going to do it for me. I'm sure I could get someone else to do it, but what fun would that be? That's taking the fun out of doing those things. So.
And I admire that.
Yeah, male things can be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're so much more fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just be you. Really, just be you. And even if you do appear to be a little bit more butch than the average girl, so what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so what? I mean,
and we're using the term butch just because it works, but we honestly, those labels, like, we don't buy them.
Yeah, no,
you know? Again, be you. But I hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
It's just so much more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than living in this little box
Mm-hmm.
of what you're supposed to be and who you're supposed to be. No. I don't believe in that. Like, shit, you can mow the lawn in an outfit like this if you really wanted to.
You could, why not?
Yeah, why not? Exactly. And you can do male things looking pretty, you
Absolutely.
know. So.
I mean, just kidding. But anyway, no, I agree. And I guess in conclusion, you guys, just remember, be yourselves, do you. And play in that duality. Embrace it,
And don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed if there's a moment where you have a little bit of a feminine moment or a masculine moment. Just, who cares, really? Like, who cares? Just be
That's
you.
right. Be you, boo. Anyway, you guys, we love you, and we will see you next week. Love, peace, and
Hair
hair breeze. Peace. Mwah.